On the wing in place of David Redfern, with Les Dill in the centre, taking the place of Dave Eckersley, who played in the second test here in Sydney. Also new to the forwards, Terry Clausen has come back from injury to take his place in the front row. A very strong side, a stronger side, I think, David, you'd have to agree, than that which took the field in the second test.
This is so, Alan, mainly because players are now playing in their rightful positions, whereas in the second test we had a spate of injuries and we had to play a number of players out of position. So the thing is this, that the boys are in very good form because we feel we are a stronger side than we were for the second test, and so it's all on, as far as we are concerned today, to come up with a very good victory, I hope.
Mr. Whitlam being introduced to the players by Mr. Kevin Humphreys, the president of the Australian Rugby League, and Mr. Reg Parker, the manager of the Great Britain touring side. Colin Dixon, number 9, being introduced. Now the Australian team, while we're looking at the Great Britain players, contains 7 new players from the side that was originally named for the second test. Graham Langlands returns at fullback. Lionel Williamson and Ray Brannigan are the new first choice wingers. Tim Pickup in preference to Jeff Richardson at 5'8". In the second row, Bob McCarthy, who was a reserve in the second test. John O'Neill and Ron Turner, 2 new players in the front row for the series, although they've both had a wealth of experience, and no doubt a lot of the Great Britain players will remember both O'Neill and Turner from the World Cup series decided in Great Britain and France a couple of years ago. It would appear as though Great Britain has won the toss. Australia will kick off, the ball being placed in the centre of the ground. And to control the match today, referee Keith Page, who also controlled the match the second test 2 weeks ago. Langland's kicking off, putting a long kick down towards Charlton, but it won't reach him. In the in-goal area, Great Britain bringing the ball up to their own quarter line. Nash now to Clausen. Playing it to Nash, who moves into dummy half. Thompson. Up to Stevens, taking him low. Assistance from O'Neill, who went high. Nash. High kick in the air. Very long kick indeed. Langland's going back to his own goal line, quarter line, taking the ball. And the Great Britain defence got down there very quickly. Clausen taking him. The Australians running back on side. The breeze has swung around a little bit, would be favouring Great Britain in this first half, with Australia to run the ball out from their own goal line. Turner is dummy half for Australia. Rodonicus, Beatson. Beatson was running onto the ball when he took that. Rodonicus calling up O'Neill. Put to ground there by Hooker Gray. High overhead pass to McCarthy, who was standing wide. Langlands took it. Play on, it was not knocked forward. Cronin. Simple grubber kick, kept in touch by Dixon. Play on, Great Britain in possession, Thompson to play it. Gray, Clausen. O'Neill swinging one head high, but fortunately it missed. Nash, Gill, good running to Dixon. Well grounded, a solid tackle by Stevens. Nash going straight down the middle, a gap appeared for him. Stevens driving him back. Gill couldn't take it. Great Britain in possession almost on halfway. And the first penalty of the match goes against the Australians. They were standing up a metre or so inside the 10 metres. Inside the 5, so the penalty goes to Great Britain. O'Neill being spoken to Nash. And Clausen. Beatson and O'Neill putting him to ground. There really are some big men in these 2 front rows. Gill, long pass out to Dill. To Dixon, Thompson, Nash, Chisnell. Getting it back nicely. Good play. Dill getting around Stevens, caught by Pickup. Great Britain starting to look good. Nash, Clausen taking the first pass. And a good run by the big prop forward. The ball loose though. Langlands for Australia, caught by Nichols. The Australian players rushing to their captain's aid, but Langland's caught 12 metres from his own goal line. Rodonicus to McCarthy. This has been a very fast game, very few stoppages so far. Turner from dummy half, he likes to run from there and pays the penalty by being caught by Dixon. McCarthy, Radonicus. McCarthy, Beatson. Fulton upfield. Fulton over halfway. Fulton has Charlton to beat. Charlton running in the cross field. Fulton can't beat them all, but he's trying. Getting it out to winger Brannigan. And Brannigan put down 12 metres out. One tackle to go. Radonicus out to Beatson. Keeping the ball alive to Williamson. Langlands is with him. Langlands going for the far line. Chesnell across. Getting it to Williamson, who scores. First try of the match. And when the ball is moved that quickly, it's very hard to stop a try. Lionel Williamson, the old veteran, returns to the Australian side to score the first points. It's 3-0.
What a brilliant play. First we saw the brilliance of Fulton. He just broke the defence and strongly kicked through. And in the ensuing play, Langlands received the ball. He elected to go wide, drag the defence with him. There were two English players there. He went wide, and the Williamson, always in position, lurked inside, got a wonderful inside pass and finished off the business.
Langlands attempting the conversion. It's a difficult kick into the breeze, but it's not successful.
Some good play by Langlands allowed Williamson to shuffle with the ball and cross in the right-hand corner.
McCarthy, O'Neill, Fulton, Stevens to pick up. Well caught by Dill. Turner got it out to Coote, who kept it. This is Cronin. Langlands inside, running around Nichols. Coming up to Gray. He misses him. Well tackled by Nash. Gill it was. Stevens, McCarthy. Not a good pass. It went to Brannigan on the wing. Pick up down to the quarter line and dumped by Dixon. Timmy Pickup was put down that time. Colin Dixon standing there looking at the damage he's done. A very hard footballer, and as you can see, he's trying to urge on his fellow forwards to give as much.
Yes, that was a tremendously good tackle by Colin Dixon, and that's the sort of tackling we have to stop, because at the moment it seems that we aren't allowing the Australian forwards to run a little bit, and as McCarthy and O'Neill and Beatson are showing to good effect. It is important now that we pull our game back together. It is early days yet, but we must not allow now Australia to get on top at all if we hope to hold them off till the half-time hooter goes.
So we're waiting now for Timmy Pickup to resume his feet. He'll play the ball to restart play just out from the Great Britain quarter line with Turner at dummy half, and Australia leading 3-0 after about 12 minutes of play in the first half. Pickup receiving attention from the Australian trainer Alf Richards, with Langlands coming up to inquire into his health. Turner and Radonicus and Fulton. McCarthy was wide with Cronin. Trying to bump off Hesketh. Bevan lending support. It's Fulton going the blind side and finding touch with a good grubber kick. Australia leading by 3-0, and the scrum being served by halfback Radonicus. Penalty against the Great Britain front row for collapsing.
Well, another penalty to Australia, and this again will be Langlands taking the tap to Beatson, offloading it to Fulton, back inside to Stevens.
Langlands taking the ball up the centre but can't penetrate that defence. Played to Turner, Radonicus, pick up. Once again Nichols and Dixon doing the work. Radonicus, short kick ahead. Richards was waiting for it, caught by McCarthy, gets it back. Nash running straight into Coote. Put down on halfway. Gray, Clausen, Chisnell, long pass out towards the centres. Hesketh coming back in field. Charlton up from fullback. Good switching of play by Great Britain. Charlton away. Charlton to Hesketh. Hesketh accelerating. Williamson across to drag him down. Gray. But still it is. He'll score. First try to Great Britain.
All started with Charlton making a long break, and then Dill from Hesketh taking it off Gill, taking it right into the Australian 10-metre quarter, and played back to Dill, who took it from the acting half-back position and scored under the post.
John Gray taping the intended conversion. He's got it to put Great Britain in front for the first time. 5 points to 3 after 9 minutes of play in the first half.
The value of O'Neill is showing out in this game. He is standing and running wide at the inside backs or the side of the ruck, and he's proving havoc there.
Nash will play it. Nichols. Stevens putting him to ground. Gill, Clausen. Hesketh. Caught by Radonicus. To Nash. Clausen. Gill. Pass went nowhere. A chance for Australia. McCarthy looking for it. Offside. Gray came from an offside position to touch the ball. Penalty awarded to Australia almost straight in front of the Great Britain posts, and the kick should level the scores. Langlands from right in front, and he levels the scores. After 22 minutes of play, it's Australia 5, Great Britain 5.
The penalty goal for Australia by fullback number 1, Graham Langland.
It's not a great difference in these sides at the moment. Both are doing their share of attacking and defending, and they're doing it well. Possibly England are looking a little bit better in the ball close.
Beatson now for Australia. Well tackled by Chisnell. Turner. O'Neill. It went to Radonicus instead to Stevens. Once again caught by Chisnell. Turner for Australia lost it. Referee Page ruling a knock-on, not playing the advantage rule. Penalty going to Great Britain, with the Australian scrum moving off the mark. Penalty awarded in quite a kickable position for Terry Clausen.
A very unique style, Gray, as he soccer kicks it coming around the corner.
And he's got it, a good kick. What a beautiful kick from John Gray. It's his first goal, or second goal.
He must feel very pleased about that, because it was John Gray that caused the incident for Langlands to level the scores, and now he's put Great Britain in front with a wonderful kick there, as we all saw.
Cronin's restart of play goes deep. Bevan coming across in front of Charlton. It's a strong runner, looking to unload the ball, but he was put to ground by Turner. Playing it to Nash.
There's a definite gap developing up the middle. As I've said before, Australia must watch this. They can't afford to let the fellows going through that gap, because they have to turn and chase, and that is not good for their side.
Charlton. Nash. Clausen. Gill got a well-timed pass away, but it was intercepted by McCarthy. McCarthy racing for the line. He's going to be too fast. He's a specialist at that, and it's played off again. A try that came out of the blue with an intercept to Bob McCarthy. Australia 8-7 with a little over 15 minutes to go. We'll see the action replay with comments from Jim Lyle.
Well, there it is, the brilliance of Bob McCarthy. He has done this before. For all of the viewers, Sydney viewers, remember in the 1967 grand final, he plucked the ball out of the air, ran 70 metres to score a try and virtually won the grand final. There he was again. He has that knack to just wait back long enough, and as the pass is thrown, he's onto it as quick as flash, and he has a great turn of speed for a second row. This for a very powerful legs, and he just pulled the ball out of the air and did the rest.
And we come back to live action with Graham Langlands having attempted and kicked the goal. Australia further ahead, 10 points to 7 now.
Well, that was unfortunate. Gill has been playing so very well on this tour, and it is a calamity that one of the passes then that he did make to try and open the game up should be intercepted by McCarthy. It left the defence with no chance at all of stopping him. And straight from the kick-off now, we kick the ball straight into touch, which is a thing which shouldn't be done in international football.
And results in a penalty to Australia. Beatson. Hard runner, getting it back to Rodonicus. Not a well-timed pass. Williamson picked it up.
Some people seem to have thought that Williamson should not have been included in this test team, but he has done nothing wrong up to date. He's been in everything, even covering across the tackle, people in the middle. A great footballer.
Langlands. Williamson. Langlands. Rodonicus. Beatson. Running a lot with a lot more power today than we saw from him in the second test. Fulton dummy half. High kick for the centres. McCarthy chasing it through. It's a swirling breeze up there, but well taken. Steve Nash getting up amongst the forwards. Play being held up while 5'8" Tim Pickup is being spoken to with Chris Hesketh firstly. And now referee Page wanting to talk to Timmy Pickup. And it looks as though it could well be a penalty going to Great Britain. There it is.
A much relieved penalty that is, and a wonderful catch by Stevie Nash. This fellow is solidarity personified, there's no doubt about that.
Very good line kick too, taking Great Britain almost down to halfway.
He must be a great footballer, David, to keep a fellow like Bates out of the game. Apparently Bates in Newcastle last week really turned it on.
Well, this is very true, Jim, but this fellow, when it comes to the very big matches, he makes very few, if any, mistakes at all. He has a wonderful understanding with his half-back partner, no matter who it is. And, of course, the fellow is always capable of doing something different.
Of course, and a hard man to stop, and he's caught with O'Neill moving in and immediately being involved in the action. And you saw what happened with Terry Clausen being called upon to play the ball, and O'Neill moved in to put him to ground.
Well, this had to come. John O'Neill is a little bit fiery. Sometimes he tends to go over the odds a little bit, but he's out there to do a job to contain these forwards. He's been containing them well, but they both took a dislike to what happened in the ensuing punch-up. It wasn't all that bad, but it was very disastrous for Australia. They can't afford to give away penalties, because England are down there now, irrespective of whether they take a shot for goal, which they are doing, so it could be another 2 points.
And John Gray going to take this kick. He's kicked 2 goals so far for Great Britain. Australia leading by 10 points to 7 with 10 minutes to go before half-time. And although this kick is a long way out, it's a very valuable one for Great Britain if they can kick it, David.
Well, that's very true, it is, and it's just before the half-time hooter goes anyway. And the thing is this, we haven't got to be lulled into any sort of these tactics now at all. We've got to keep away from it and use the ball as often as we possibly can, because there's no doubt about it, if we do start playing football as we can play football, we can win this test match this afternoon.
John Gray attempting the penalty kick. He's almost at halfway, and what a beautiful kick. It's long and high, and it's there. A great kick from Johnny Gray. 10 points to 9 the score. 9 minutes to go before half-time, and Great Britain needed that goal, and they got the answer from John Gray. About 8 minutes to go before half-time. Australia leading by 10 points to 9, and the scrum is in the Great Britain quarter. Penalty to Australia. Langlands to take this kick for goal from about 33 metres out. It's not an easy one. He's got it well into the air. It's to the right of the posts. Hit the posts. Great Britain to run it out. Nash caught. Hesketh. Clausen. Thompson. Pick up low and Stevens high. Hesketh. Great Britain forward standing bunched. It was taken by Gill. Getting away from Beatson. Caught by Pickup. These two 5/8s having a good tussle today. Gray. High kick for the far wing. Langland's back. Sun in his eyes. He'll have to run it out now with the Great Britain defence getting down quickly. Trying to go through the middle. Chisnell the tackler. He's done a power of work so far. Coote. One of the Australian forwards of whom we haven't seen a great deal to date. Turner. Radonicus. Beatson. Wasn't held by Nichols. Turns it back inside and it's a Great Britain ball. Nichols was in the right spot then to take it.
This is something the Englishmen are not doing today. They're not putting Beatson on the ground as they did in the second test, and he can be dangerous once he's allowed to stand up, distribute the ball. He will make inroads into their straight line. They must put him on the ground.
Nash. With about 4 minutes to go before half-time. Nichols. Beatson taking him, assisted there by Stevens, who went low. Beatson taking all the time in the world to get off the man. Clausen will kick. No, he won't. Nichols, Nash. It's Gray, caught by Fulton. John O'Neill to be spoken to for that one. We may have a look at that in action replay. We didn't see whether or not that connected or not, but the intention was there. That was quite evident. And you'll notice with the man being held up, Gray being held up in the tackle by Fulton, O'Neill came in to lend assistance, and it just, there it is. With 2 minutes before half-time, Gray attempting the kick, another good high one, another beautiful kick, and Great Britain in front again. John Gray kicks another goal. 4 goals to John Gray. Great Britain 11, Australia 10. 2 minutes before half-time. Restart is taken by Cronin. Nichols got away from Beatson. Bevan driven into the ground by Beatson. Wasn't really dumped though as he held on to the man. Thompson. Hesketh. O'Neill lending assistance in the tackle of McCarthy.
This is what John O'Neill would be advised to do now. Get stuck into the hard stuff, put the man on the ground, ball and all, not worry about any loose arms and all the rest of it. He's a good enough footballer to do this.
And it paid off with Australia getting the ball and pick up, trying to run away around Ken Gill. Time is running out before half-time if Australia are going to score. Radonicus tried to go between the two men and had no chance. McCarthy, O'Neill, away from Clausen. O'Neill still going. Fulton dropped it. Great Britain's ball. Nash caught by Turner and Pickup. Thompson. It's Nichols. Dixon. Caught by Cronin. Nash taken by Turner and Cronin. The half-time siren is due at any moment. Gray. Another high kick. The forwards chasing it up. Brannigan running in to help Langlands. He might have to take it himself. Lost it. Here's a try. Is it a try? It is. Maurice Richards scoring the try for Great Britain on the right wing after a good kick from John Gray. And Great Britain will go in at half-time with a very good lead indeed.
What a valuable player this fellow has turned out to be. And although I probably keep repeating myself, he's proved everything that everybody has said of him on this trip. He's filled in numerous positions, he's goal kicked, he's kicked the high balls. That ball proved to be very valuable, as we can now see. It wasn't covered by Brannigan, he let it go too far, and when he did go on it, the ball rolled loose to Richards to kick ahead, and fortunately the ball kept in play to be touched down in the corner.
Gray putting it well into the air, and it's a 6-point lead at half-time. What a magnificent kick he's turned in today. At half-time, Great Britain leads by 16 points to 10. Second half starter, what a magnificent kick by Graham Langlands, who before today had scored 91 points in test matches and needs only another 5 points today to make it 100.
What Langlands said, what the Englishman can do in the first half, I can do in the second half. He got the ball and put it straight back down in their half, and he said, we'll play the game now. And that's what they're going to do.
Langlands from a fair distance out, putting it high into the air. It might fall short. It does, under the crossbar. Charlton to run it out now for Great Britain. Thompson dummy half. Nash, Clausen, Dixon, Thompson, to Nash. It's Gray, wasn't expecting it, but he reacted quite quickly. Well taken. Driving tackle, a good tackle by Hesketh. Penalty against Great Britain. It was Clausen this time. And you could see from where he was standing relative to the halfway line that he was in fact a little bit in front of the remainder of the Great Britain defence.
There's no doubt about it now. We shouldn't be giving away penalties because it is terribly important to keep Australia pinned in their own half. It's quite obvious that Graham Langlands had noted all the Britain tactics in the first half, because as soon as he fielded the kick-off, he put Australia back in a very strong position by putting the ball straight back into touch.
Australian hooker Ron Turner playing the ball short of the English or the Great Britain quarter line. Radonicus, Stevens, lost the ball though. Nash, caught by Turner. Clausen, throwing the ball in the air for Nash.
It's quite obvious to see this value of Clausen. He missed out the second test, but he's making his presence felt the other day with standing up and passing the ball back, changing the point of attack. He's a very valuable ball handler.
Gill, Clausen, Dixon, Hesketh dummy half. Chisnell found Gill, reversing it. Clausen, Nash, saw the gap up the middle, got away from Turner and Stevens. Here's Dill now over halfway. Great Britain attacking. Dill caught by Williamson from the wing.
Good football by Great Britain. They're now starting to string their passes together, and Nash making a wonderful break, and we now revert back to John Gray's up and under.
Langland's waiting for it, taking it beautifully, but Gray caught him. That was good football by both players. Pick up short of the quarter line. Radonicus, Beatson, Turner, Radonicus, caught by Chisnell. O'Neill dummy half. Turner. Ball lost, and the scrum will go down midway between the Australian quarter line and halfway. That time the Great Britain scrum screwed right around to move off the mark, and the penalty went to Australia. The Australian side has received 3 penalties to none so far in the second half. Penalty count is Australia 10, Great Britain 6. Scrums are level at 3-all. Good kick from Langlands, a beautiful kick indeed, right down to the quarter line. Brannigan. The Australian crowd now sensing an opportunity for the Australian team to score. Turner, O'Neill, Beatson. Coote was wide, Coote to the corner, Charlton to beat Langlands. Langlands scores for Australia. And what a captain's try. It very nearly came unstuck with that pass that Arthur Beatson grasped at 3 times. He made it, and we'll see it.
Well, it was a little bit lucky because O'Neill virtually ran across the field and handed it to Beatson, but Beatson miraculously held it. But Coote, who plays his blindside football so well, did the rest, and Langlands, the brilliant Langlands, was there.
Putting it into the air, it's to the left of the post, and he's missed it. Great Britain side coming back slowly for the restart, still leading by that 3 points.
We also noticed, David, what a brilliant footballer this McCarthy is, especially on the blind side. Some people wanted him to play him in the front row, but his position definitely the second row. He can stand wide and exploit that blind. He does that very well.
He does, yes.
Scrum just out from the Great Britain line. 16 points to 13 is the score after 12 minutes of the second half. Penalty to Australia. Front row collapsing once again. And a little bit of action happening behind referee's Page's back. He didn't see what was going on, but it was a little bit of fun between the players. Now let's keep in mind Graham Langlands after 100 points in Test football. And he's got it. He's there. And Graham Langlands being congratulated by his teammates and applauded by this large crowd. What a great achievement in a career that's lasted 11 years now. 100 points in Test football, a tremendous piece of work. And a great take by Langlands too.
Graham Langlands now would only have one ambition left, I feel, to win this game today. I'm sure the Englishman will make sure that he does not achieve that ambition.
And that last round of applause you heard was for the announcement of Graham Langlands' achievement of 100 points in Test matches between Australia and Great Britain. Colton put to ground by Dixon. Getting to his feet slowly, Australia in possession in their own half. Verdonicus working play, but he's put to ground. McCarthy a long pass to Brannigan, getting around Dill. Put to ground by Richards though. Playing it to Coote. Fulton. High up and under that time. That'll put pressure on the defence. There's no one following it through though, and well taken, Charlton. 25 minutes to go. Hesketh. Getting away and finds Dill. Great Britain still keeping the ball moving. Dixon has it. Long pass. This is Gill. Great Britain on their own quarter line. Thompson is a dummy half. Clausen. Stevens takes him, but there's Nichols backing up, and Nichols was offside. Well, that must have been very close. It must have been very close indeed.
Even though it was very close, it's nonetheless, again, given Langlands an opportunity to put Australia into the lead. This fellow has played tremendously well. It could be, as has been said in the papers this morning, his last international match. But by goodness me, he's going out in a blaze of glory, there's no doubt about it.
to the end of three at the Sheridan stand.
So there's 1 point difference between the sides. Great Britain leading 16 points to 15 with about 24 minutes to go. And Langlands has the kick that will once again put Australia in front if successful. It's an easier kick than his last one. Langlands kicking from beyond the quarter line. He's got it. Australia in front again.
Another good kick by Langlands, which now puts Britain in deficit for the first time since the first half. It'll be interesting to see exactly now how we set ourselves back into this game, because I'm sure that we can still win and win well.
Langlands dummying the kick to try and elude the defence, but he wasn't very successful, and now he's coming in for a little measure of punishment for scoring those points. Coote.
As far as this crowd is concerned, everything Graham Langlands does now is perfect. He can't do a thing wrong.
O'Neill with a good run up the blind side to Brannigan. McCarthy bursting through that defence until he was held by Clausen. Redonicus. One tackle to go. Fulton calling for it behind play. There he is. Didn't get time to kick. He'll have to run it. Away from Dixon. Fulton looking for support. There's Cronin. Cronin over the quarter line to Coote. Coote going for the corner and he's in. He's there. And what an incredible try that when you think about it, Bob Fulton was originally receiving the ball to kick and didn't get time to. Jim Lyle.
What a great try by the Australian side. We must remember that they were helped a little bit by the Englishman. Fulton fainted. He was going to kick and the Englishman stood off him. They should have put him on the ground, but they didn't, and that's when the trouble started. Fulton noticed the gap. He went straight through it. This fellow has all the power in the world. He does not seem all that fast, but once he accelerates, he really goes. Cronin intelligently looked inside, went inside, and Coote, always on the look, took the ball and scored. Great try.
It looks there. It is there. And look at the grin on Graham Langland's face as he ran back. Clausen. Hesketh. Nash. Hesketh working the moves from the scrum or from the corner of the ruck. High kick with Langlands there. Didn't know which way to turn with the defence coming through so well. Graham Langland's finding it very hard to get to his feet. Langland's missed quite a number of games earlier this season through an injury just above the hip.
Knowing Graham Langlands, he would have to be really hurt to go off on this game. He's just one of these players that bounces back every time, and he's planted his feet there. Just as he planted his feet, he was hit and he jarred down on his spine. It was a very painful injury.
Penalty to Australia in the play the ball. Quite legitimate, of course, for the defending dummy half to strike for the ball, but he's got to do it within the rules of the game. And it wasn't done so in the opinion of referee Page. So referee now moving in to cool the players down. It's a tense moment for both sides. The game's by a long shot, not over yet. 22 points to 16 with about another 16 minutes to go. Beatson taking the tap kick. Rather unusual to find the Australians taking the tap from so deep in their own half. O'Neill. What a good game he's had since being brought back.
This is just showing the confidence the Australian team are now displaying. They can afford to do this. They're not worried about kicking for touch well down the field. They can run the ball out, and this shows they are confident.
Stevens. Ray trying to take him high. Thompson finishes off the work. Pick up. One tackle to go. Stevens. Fulton calling for it to kick. Putting a high one up. Will it be too long? It is. The breeze taking it into touch. Play will have to come back for the scrum to be put down deep in the Australian half.
As Jim was saying, the Australians are now showing a lot of confidence in everything they're doing at the moment, and at the moment they are on top.
Another scrum won by Great Britain with Hesketh knocking on, so that'll be another scrum to be set.
It's quite amazing. We went off with a 6-point lead at half-time. We haven't made any improvement on that yet. And of course, at every stage of the game at the moment, the Australians are getting a little stronger in confidence.
Do you think in turn, David, the British side are panicking a little bit?
I think they are, yes. I think the defensive pattern of our side has changed rather drastically in the second half, and we haven't been as keen to come up and take them.
Hesketh. That's Charlton from fullback, getting it out towards the far wing. Richard dumped to the ground. Nichols. Gill. Chosnall. That's Clausen. Hesketh moving the ball quickly. It went to Charlton. Great Britain will be close to scoring here. Nash. Held by Radonicus and O'Neill. Dixon. Chisnall. It's Nichols. That was a good tackle from Radonicus. One tackle to go. Dixon running through. Scrum for the 6th tackle will be put down just outside the Australian line, right in front of the posts.
There's no doubt about it. The Australian defence at this moment is much stronger than any period in the second test, and quite honestly at the moment they are knocking down the British players quite frequently.
Australian ball. Coote. Ron Coote struggling. And while Coote is on the ground, the replacement back, Roger Millwood for Great Britain, is on the touchline waiting to come onto the field. Scrum will go down because the ball was reeked loose there. The crowd thinking there was an occasion for a penalty, but I don't think so. Roger Millwood now coming onto the ground, and it looks as though Ken Gill is going off.
Yes, it is Kenny Gill.
Roger Millwood recognised as one of the liveliest 5/8s in the game, and referee Keith Page doesn't quite understand that he's the replacement man. He is now. And John Gray going to kick for goal for Great Britain. The penalty awarded beyond the quarter line and almost straight in front. His only consideration will have to be the effect of this breeze on the ball. And that's his form. Australia in front, but now by only 4 points, 22 points to 18. John Gray kicking goal number 6. And we've got about 11.5 minutes to go.
It's very interesting to see Roger Millwood on the field. We all remember this fellow, the Artful Dodger in the 70s, 1970, when he completely cut up our defence. It's a wonder though whether they were changing the combination, the half-back combination at this stage of the piece. Might not be advisable.
And one very disappointed winger for Great Britain, Maurice Richards, on the far side, not able to prevent the ball going into touch, but let's remember he was looking straight into that sun and it wasn't easy. But Australia did gain a lot of ground through the mistake.
It'll be interesting now to see who wins the scrum, because it's terribly important to Britain to get the ball away from this position. Giving it to Australia is only going to make things harder for ourselves in these closing stages of this game.
Nash taking the ball away for Great Britain, caught by Coote and Stevens. Nichols. Forced backwards by Beatson. Clausen. Nash. Thompson. Stevens driving him back again. My word, he does that well. Millwood and Chisnell. Hesketh going the other way. Thompson.
We seem to get ourselves into an awful lot of trouble at the moment, but I think we are bunching far too much.
Long pass that Gray or Dill couldn't take in the centres. Has to beat Cronin and Fulton, and that's not easy. But it was the 6th tackle for Great Britain, and the scrum will be put down 10 metres out from the Great Britain line. About 8 minutes to go. Ball won by Australia, with the Australians attacking the Great Britain line, leading by 22 points to 18. Coote, pick up, Cronin, pushing off Hesketh, but not Dill. Down on the Great Britain quarter line, playing it now to pick up. Out to Beatson now, looking for Fulton. There he is. Langlands couldn't take it. Williamson into touch.
Well, the pressure is on Great Britain at the moment, still penned inside their own 25-metre line, and the scrums are most crucial at this stage of the game.
John Gray has done a very good job once again in the scrums for Great Britain against a more recognised hooker. He's leading in the scrum count by 7-5. Australian ball. Coote. Radonicus. O'Neill. He's lost the ball. Chisnell for Great Britain. Pick up taking him. Hesketh. Nash. Nichols got it away to Dill. Stevens for Australia. Brannigan dummy half, and now it's Coote. Again settling play down by taking Australia further upfield. Turner, Radonicus, pick up, Beatson, straight through. Radonicus, the player who gave Great Britain so much trouble in the first 2 tests, hasn't had it all his own way today though. O'Neill, up the blind side he goes. Brannigan, Stevens, being forced towards the touchline with 1 tackle to go. Now Fulton calling for it, moving up behind the ruck. There he is, straight into touch. Six minutes to go, 22 points to 18, and another replacement being made for Great Britain. Paul Rose from Hull Kingston Rovers coming onto the field, and he's going into the second row to replace Colin Dixon. So Great Britain now with both replacements on. About 5.5 minutes to go. The scrum just out from the Great Britain quarter line. Won by Australia. No, it wasn't. Great Britain ball. Richards to play it. Nichols. Nash. Thompson. Millward. Rose. Great Britain now working this blind side. Dill put to ground. Good safe tackle around the ankles by Pickup. It's Chisnell. Gray. shallower kick this time. Langland's having to come up for it. He's been supported by Williamson. Caught by Bevan. A good tackle, Bevan. Williamson.
It's good to see Williamson going back there to aid his captain. A real good winger's roll, drop back and in support.
Beatson looking rather tired now. Time is running out. A little over 4 minutes. O'Neill. Radonicus putting through a little bit of dash into this team. Racing. The support is too quick though. Radonicus playing it to McCarthy and Fulton. Short kick up over the top. Looking for it. Knock on will be played first though, because Fulton touched the ball to knock it forward.
I feel rather dramatic moments then for the Great Britain camp. We can't afford now, if we're going to pull this game out of the fire, to let Australia score again. So this scrum is going to be terribly important to John Gray, who's had a tremendously good game here this afternoon.
Radonicus trying to get through close to the scrum base. He'll have to play it there. McCarthy. He's a big man, but the weight of the defence is too much. A try now to Australia would seal the game. O'Neill, pick up, Fulton. Well tackled by Rose. Turner, pick up, called for it. There's Williamson. Coote saw the opportunity on the blind side. Lost the ball. Brannigan got it, but the knock on again will have to be played.
Well, there's no doubt about it now that Australia are exerting awful lot of pressure on the Great Britain line. They've been aided by winning the last two scrums and keeping Britain pinned down in their own 10-metre area. Of course, we've got to get out of there if we're going to hope to clinch this game in the series.
So only about 2 minutes to go. Australia leading by those 4 points. Nash. Chisnell got it to Rose.
This is what Great Britain should have been doing earlier, throwing it wide. They could not got in the middle. They were getting trapped. They should throw it wide to these fellows that come on the burst.
Clausen playing it on the goal line, on the quarter line. Chisnell. Rose was left unmarked. Hesketh. Charlton from fullback. Almost intercepted by Fulton, but Dill has it. Pick up diving at him, missing him. Brannigan misses his man. Bevan well caught by that cover defence. Ron Coote was back there. A minute to go. Australia leading 22 points to 18. Hesketh. Last do-or-die effort from Great Britain as it goes to Millwood. The brilliant Millwood. One tackle to go. Chisnell high into the air. Langlands. He's not going to give away the game in the series now. Brannigan. On halfway, Brannigan will play it for Australia. Langlands is dummy half. O'Neill, who's had such a good game. Turner running into dummy half. Going to keep it safe, no passes here.
Good tactics by the Australians. Just grab the ball to the chest now. One out up the field. Nothing silly.
Radonicus to play it. We should hear the full-time siren at any moment. Beatson holding onto the ball. Cronin's got it for Australia. One tackle for Australia to go. Pick-up calls. Putting it into touch. And the full-time siren should go before we see the result of this scrum. The last scrum going down. Full-time siren sounding. Scrum won by Great Britain. Millward. Play on. Cronin is caught, and that is the end of the game. And the series won by Australia, and a jubilant captain coach Graham Langlands going out on top at the end of such a triumphant career. Graham Langlands over 100 points in Test Rugby League matches against Great Britain and captain of the side to defeat Great Britain 2 tests to 1 in this 1974 series. So Australia winning the series 2 tests to 1 by defeating Great Britain in the third and deciding test at the Sydney Cricket Ground by 22 points to 18.